अथ द्वितीयोऽध्यायः साङ्ख्ययोगः। सञ्जय उवाच तं तथा कृपयाविष्टमश्रुपूर्णाकुलेक्षणम् विषीदन्तमिदं वाक्यमुवाच मधुसूदन.
Sanjaya said, to him who was thus overwhelmed with pity, whose eyes were filled with tears and distressed, and who was sorrowing, Madhusadana, Lord Krishna, spoke these words.
Shri Bhagawanuvacha Kutastva kashmalamidam vishame samupastitam Anaryajushtamasvargyamakirtikaram Arjuna.
The blessed Lord said, O Arjuna, how has this dejection come upon you in this hour of danger? It is not befitting a noble soul, it does not lead to heaven, and it brings disgrace.
Klaibyam masma gama partha naitatvayupadyate. Kshudram hruday daurbalyam tyaktvottishta parantapa.
Yield not to unmanliness, O son of Pritha, Arjuna. It does not befit you. Shake off this petty faint-heartedness and arise, O scorcher of foes.
Arjuna uvacha Katham bhishmamam Sankhe dronam cha Madhusudana. Ishubhiga pratyotsami pujarhavarisudana.
Arjuna said, O Madhusadana, O slayer of enemies, how can I fight with arrows in battle against Bhishma and Drona, who are worthy of my deepest worship?
Guruna hatva hi mahanubhavan shreyo bhoktum vaikshampiya loke. Hatvarthakamamstu guruni haiva bhujya bhogan rudira pradigdan.
It is better to live on alms in this world than to slay these noble teachers. Even if I kill them, all my enjoyments of wealth and desires in this world will be stained with their blood.
Na chaitadvidma katara no gariyo yadva jayama yadi va no jayeva. Yaneva hatvana jijivishamasteva stitaya pramukhe dhartarashtra.
We do not even know which is better for us, that we should conquer them or that they should conquer us. The very sons of Dhritarashtra, after killing whom we would not care to live, are standing before us in the battle array.
Karpanya doshophatasvabhavara pruchami tavam dharma sammudachetara. Etreya sanishchitam bruhi tanme shishyasteham shadi mam tavam prapannam.
With my mind bewildered about my duty, and my nature overpowered by the weakness of pity, I ask you, tell me decisively what is good for me. I am your disciple. Teach me, who have taken refuge in you.
Nahi prapashyami mamapanudyad etchukamuchoshanamindriyanam. Avapya bhuma vasapatnamruddham rajyam suranamapi chadipatyam.
I do not see what can dispel this grief that dries up my senses, even if I should obtain an unrivaled, prosperous kingdom on earth and supremacy over the gods.
Sanjaya uvacha Evamuktva Hrishikesham Gudakesha Parantapa. Na yotsya iti Govindamuktva tushnim babuvaha.
Sanjaya said, having spoken thus to Hrishikesha, Lord Krishna, Gadaksha, Arjuna, the scorcher of foes, said to Govinda, I will not fight, and fell silent.
तमुवाच हृषीकेश प्रहसन्निव भारत सेनयोरुभयोर्मध्ये विषीदन्तमिदं वचाव.
O descendant of Bharata, Dhritarashtra, Hrishikesha, Lord Krishna, as if smiling, spoke these words to the dejected Arjuna in the midst of the two armies.
Shri Bhagawanuvacha Ashocyananvashocastvam pragnavadamscha bhashse Gatasunagatasumscha nanushocanti panditaya.
The blessed Lord said, "You grieve for those who should not be mourned, yet you speak words of wisdom. The wise grieve neither for the living nor for the dead."
Na trevaham jatu nasam na tavan neme janadipaye. Na chayvana bhavishyama sarve vayamata param.
Never was there a time when I did not exist, nor you, nor all these kings, nor shall any of us cease to exist in the future.
Dehinosmin yatha dehe kaumaram yauvanam jara. Tatha dehantara praptirdirastatra na muhyati.
Just as the embodied soul passes through childhood, youth, and old age in this body, so it transitions to another body. The wise are not deluded by this.
Matras parshastu kaunteya shitoshna sukhadukkada. Agamapaino nityastam stitikshasva bharata.
O son of Kunti, contact of the senses with their objects gives rise to cold and heat, pleasure and pain. They are fleeting and temporary. Endure them, O descendant of Bharata.
Yam hina vetentete purusham purushashaba. Samadukha sukham dhiram somnutatvaya kalpate.
O noblest among men, Arjuna, the wise person who is not perturbed by these, to whom pain and pleasure are the same, becomes eligible for immortality.
Nasato vidyate bhavo, nabhavo vidyate sata. Ubayorapi drushtvantastvanayostattvadashibhiya.
The unreal has no existence, and the real never ceases to be. The truth about both has been perceived by the seers of reality.
Avinashi tu tadvidhi yena sarvamidam tatam. Vinashamamyasya na kaschit kartumarhati.
Know that to be imperishable by which all this universe is pervaded, no one can bring about the destruction of this indestructible principle.
Antavanta ime deha nityasyukta sharirine. Anashino prameyasya tasmadyuddhasva bharata.
These bodies of the embodied soul, which is eternal, indestructible, and immeasurable, are said to have an end. Therefore, fight, O descendant of Bharata.
Yenam veti, hantaram yaschainam manyate hatam. Ubau tau na vijanito, nayam hanti na hanyate.
He who thinks the soul is the slayer, and he who thinks it is slain, both are ignorant. The soul neither slays, nor is it slain.
Na jaite mriyate va kadachinayam bhutva bhavita va na bhuya. Ajo nitya shashvatoyam purano na hanyate hanyamane sharire.
The soul is never born, nor does it die at any time. It did not come into being, nor will it cease to be. It is unborn, eternal, ever-existing, and primeval. It is not slain when the body is slain.
Vedavinashinam nityam yenamajamamyam. Katham purusha partha kam gateti hanti kam.
O Partha, Arjuna, how can a person who knows the soul to be indestructible, eternal, unborn, and immutable kill anyone or cause anyone to be killed?
Vasamsi jirnani yata vihaya navani gurnati naroparani. Tata sharirani vihaya jirnanyanyani samyati navani dehi.
Just as a person discards worn-out clothes and puts on new ones, so the embodied soul discards worn-out bodies and enters new ones.
Nainan chindanti shastrani, nainan dahati pauka. Na chainam kleden tapo, na shosheti maruta.
Weapons cannot cut the soul, fire cannot burn it, water cannot wet it, and the wind cannot dry it.
Acchedyoem adayoem akledyo shoshya evacha. Nitya sarvagata, sthanurachaloyam sanatana.
This soul is unbreakable, incombustible, insoluble, and cannot be dried. It is eternal, all-pervading, stable, immovable, and ancient.
Avyaktoem achintyoem avikaryoem uchyate. Tasmadevam viditwainan nanushochitumarsi.
It is said to be unmanifest, unthinkable, and unchangeable. Therefore, knowing it as such, you should not grieve.
Atha chainan nityajatam nityam va manyase mrutam. Tathapi tavam mahabaho naivan shochitumarsi.
Even if you think the soul is constantly born and constantly dies, even then, O mighty armed one, Arjuna, you should not grieve.
Jatasya hi dhruvo mrityurdhruvam janma mritasya cha. Tasmad pariharyerte na tavan shochitumarasi.
Death is certain for one who is born, and birth is certain for one who dies. Therefore, you should not grieve over the inevitable.
Avyaktadini bhutani vyaktamadhyani bharata. Avyaktanidhananyeva tatra ka paridevana.
Beings are unmanifest in their origin, manifest in their mid-state, O descendant of Bharata, and unmanifest again in their end. What is there to grieve about?
Ascharyavat pashyati kaschidena mascharyavat tataiva chanya. Ascharyavat chainamanya shrunoti shrutva penan vedana chaiva kaschid.
One beholds the soul as a wonder, another speaks of it as a wonder, and another hears of it as a wonder. Yet, even after hearing about it, no one truly knows it.
Dehi nityam vadyoyam dehe sarvasya bharata. Tasmat sarvani bhutani na tavam shochitumarhasi.
This soul dwelling in the bodies of all is eternally indestructible, O descendant of Bharata. Therefore, you should not mourn for any living creature.
स्वधर्ममपि चावेक्ष्य न विकम्पितुमर्हसि। धर्म्यादि युद्धाश्रयो निक्षत्रियस्य न विद्यते।
Considering your own duty, you should not waver, for there is nothing better for a kshatriya than a righteous war.
येदुच्चया चोपपन्नं स्वर्गद्वारमपावृतम्। सुखिनः क्षत्रियाः पार्थ लभन्ते युद्धमीदृशम्।
Happy indeed are the kshatriyas, O Partha, who obtain such an unsought opportunity for battle, which is an open door to heaven.
अथ चेत्त्वमिमं धर्म्यं सद्ग्रामं न करिष्यसि तथा स्वधर्मं कीर्तिं च हित्वा पापमवाप्स्यसि.
But if you do not fight this righteous war, then you will fail in your duty, lose your reputation, and incur sin.
कीर्तिं चापि भूतानि कथयिष्यन्ति ते व्ययम् संभावितस्य च कीर्तिर्मरणादतिरिच्यते.
People will speak of your disgrace for ages to come, and for a highly esteemed man, dishonor is worse than death.
भयाद्रणादुपरतन् मंस्यन्ते तवां महारथाः येषां च तवं बहुमतो भूत्वा यास्यसि लाघवम्.
The great chariot warriors will believe you fled from battle out of fear, and you will be lightly esteemed by those who held you in high regard.
अवाच्यवादांश्च बहून्नदिश्यन्ति तवाहितारः निन्दन्तस्तव सामर्थ्यं ततो दुःखतरन्नु किम्.
Your enemies will speak many unbecoming words, disparaging your strength. What could be more painful than that?
हतो वा प्राप्स्यसि स्वर्गं जित्वा वा भोक्ष्यसे महीम्. तस्मादुत्तिष्ठ कौन्तेय युद्धाय कृतनिश्चय.
If you are slain, you will reach heaven. If you conquer, you will enjoy the earth. Therefore, arise, O son of Kunti, resolve to fight.
सुखदुःखे समे कृत्वा लाभालाभौ जयाजयौ ततो युद्धाय युज्यस्व नैवं पापमवाप्स्यसि.
Treating pleasure and pain, gain and loss, victory and defeat as the same, prepare for battle. Thus, you shall not incur sin.
एषा ते विहिता साख्ये बुद्धिर्योगे त्विमां शृणु. बुद्ध्या युक्तो यया पार्थ कर्मबन्धं प्रहास्यसि.
This wisdom of Sankhya has been declared to you, O Partha. Now listen to the wisdom of yoga, selfless action, by which, when endowed, you shall cast off the bondage of action.
नेहाभिक्रमनाशोऽस्ति प्रत्यवायो न विद्यते. स्वल्पमप्यस्य धर्मस्य त्रायते महतो भयात्.
In this path, there is no loss of effort, nor is there any harm. Even a little practice of this path saves one from great fear.
व्यवसायात्मिक बुद्धिरेकेह कुरुनन्दन. बहुशाख हेनन्ताश्च बुद्धयो व्यवसायिनाम्.
O joy of the Kurus, Arjuna, the intellect in this path is resolute and one-pointed, but the minds of the irresolute are many-branched and endless.
त्रैगुण्य विषया वेद निस्त्रैगुण्यो भवार्जुन. निर्द्वन्द्वो हि नित्यसत्त्वस्थो निर्योगक्षेम आत्मवान्.
The Vedas deal with the three gunas, modes of nature. Be free from the three gunas, O Arjuna, free from the pairs of opposites, established in pure truth, unconcerned with acquisition and preservation, and self-controlled.
यावानर्थ उदपाने सर्वथा सम्प्लुतोदके तावान् सर्वेषु वेदेषु ब्राह्मणस्य विजानत.
To an enlightened person, all the Vedas are of as much use as a small reservoir of water when there is a flood of water on all sides.
कर्मण्येवाधिकारस्ते मा फलेषु कदाचन मा कर्मफलहेतुर्भूर्मा ते सगोस्त्व कर्मणि.
Your right is to action alone, never to its fruits. Let not the fruits of action be your motive, nor let your attachment be to an action.
Yogastha kuru karmani sargam tektva dhananjaya. Siddhya siddhya samo bhutva samatvam yoga uchyate.
Perform your actions established in yoga, abandoning attachment, O Dhananjaya, Arjuna, and remain even-minded in success and failure. Equanimity of mind is called yoga.
Durena hevaram karma buddhiyoga dhananjaya. Buddhao sharanamanvicha krupana phalahetava.
Action with selfish desire is far inferior to the yoga of wisdom, O Dhananjaya. Seek refuge in wisdom. Wretched are those whose motive is the fruit of action.
Buddhiyukto jahatiya obe sukruta dushkrute. Tasmadyogaya yujisva yoga karmasu kaushalam.
One who is endowed with wisdom discards both good and evil deeds in this life. Therefore, devote yourself to yoga. Yoga is skill in action.
Karmajam buddhiyukta hi phalam tektva manishina. Janmabandhavinirmuktaya padam gacchantyanamaim.
The wise, endowed with wisdom, renounce the fruits of action, and being freed from the bondage of birth, attain the state that is free from all suffering.
Yeda te mohakalilam buddhirvyatitarishyati. Tada gantasi nirvedan shrotavyasya shrutasya cha.
When your intellect crosses the mire of delusion, you will grow indifferent to what has been heard and what is yet to be heard.
Shruti vipratipanna te yeda stasyati nischala. Samadhavachala buddhistada yogamavapsyasi.
When your intellect, perplexed by various teachings, stands steady and immovable in meditation on God, then you shall attain yoga, union with God.
Arjuna uvacha. Stita pragnasya ka bhasha samadhistasya keshava. Stitadiya kim prabhasheta kimasita vrajeta kim.
Arjuna said, "What, O Keshava, is the description of one who is of steady wisdom and established in samadhi? How does the person of steady mind speak? How sit? How walk?"
Shri Bhagavan uvacha. Prajahati yada kaman sarvan partha manogatan. आत्मन्येवात्मना तुष्टा स्थितप्रज्ञस्तदोच्यते.
The blessed Lord said, when a person completely casts away all desires of the mind, O Partha, and is satisfied in the self by the self, then he is said to be of steady wisdom.
Dukkeshvanuddvignamana sukeshu vigataspruha. Vitaragabe krodha stitadir muniruchyate.
He whose mind is undisturbed in adversity, who has no craving for pleasures, and who is free from attachment, fear, and anger, is called a sage of steady mind.
Yah sarvatra nabhisnehastattat prapya shubhashubham. Nabhinandati na dveshti tasya prajna pratishtita.
He who is unattached to anything, and who neither rejoices on receiving good nor recoils on receiving evil, his wisdom is firmly established.
Yeda samharate chayam kurmoganiva sarvasya. Indriyanindriyarte bestasya prajna pratishtita.
When one completely withdraws the senses from sense objects, as a tortoise draws in its limbs on all sides, his wisdom is firmly established.
Vishaya vinivartante niraharasya dehina. Rasavarjam rasopesya param dushtva nivartate.
Sense objects turn away from the embodied soul who abstains from them, but the taste for them remains. This taste also vanishes when the Supreme is realized.
Yetato happy kaunteya purushasya vipaschita. Indriyani pramatini haranti prasabam manana.
The turbulent senses, O son of Kunti, forcibly carry away the mind of even a wise person who is striving for self-control.
Tani sarvani sanyamya yukta asita matpara. Vashehi yasyendriyani tasya prajna pratishtita.
Restraining them all, one should sit disciplined, intent on me. For he whose senses are under control, his wisdom is firmly established.
Dhyayato vishayan pumsa sargasteshu pajayate. Sargat sajayate kama, kamat krodho bijayate.
Thinking about sense objects leads to attachment to them. From attachment arises desire, and from desire, unfulfilled, springs anger.
Krodhat bhavati sammoha, sammohat smriti vibhrama. Smriti bhramshad buddhinasho, buddhinashat pranashyati.
From anger arises delusion. From delusion, confusion of memory. From confusion of memory, loss of reason. And from loss of reason, one is ruined.
Ragadveshaviyuktaistu vishayanindriyaischcharan. Atmavasher videyatma prasadam digacchati.
But the self-controlled person, moving among sense objects with senses free from attraction and aversion, and under self-control, attains peace of mind.
Prasade sarvadukhanam hanirasyopajayate. Prasannachetso hayashu buddhira paryavatishtate.
In that peace of mind, all his sorrows come to an end. The intellect of such a person of tranquil mind quickly becomes steady.
Nasti buddhirayuktasya na chayuktasya bhavana. Na chabhavayata shantirashantasya kuta sukham.
There is no wisdom for the undisciplined, nor can there be contemplation for him. For the uncontemplative, there is no peace. And how can there be happiness for one without peace?
Indriyanam hi charatam enmanonuvidiyate. Tadasya harati pragnam vayurnavamivambasi.
Just as a boat on the water is swept away by the wind, so the mind that follows the wandering senses carries away one's discrimination.
Tasmadisya mahabaho niguhitani sarvasha. Indriyanindriyarte bestasya prajna pratishtita.
Therefore, O mighty armed one, Arjuna, he whose senses are completely restrained from their objects, his wisdom is firmly established.
Ya nisha sarvabhutanam tasyam jagrati samyami. Yasyam jagrati bhutani sa nisha pashyato muneya.
What is night for all beings is the time of waking for the self-controlled, and that in which all beings are awake is night for the wise seer.
Apuryamanamachala pratishtam samudramapa pravishanti edvat. Tadvat kama yam pravishanti sarve sa shantimapnoti na kamakami.
He whom all desires enter as waters flow into the ocean, which, though constantly filled, remains still and undisturbed, attains peace, and not he who hankers after desires.
Esha brahmi sthitiya partanainam prapya vimuhyati. Sthitva shyamantakalepi brahmanirvanam uchati.
This is the state of union with the divine, Brahma, O Partha. Attaining this, one is no longer deluded. Established in this state, even at the hour of death, one attains liberation in God, Brahmanirvana.